we can draw a fund. Then based on that, we can do good research. It's a cycle, like a supply chain cycle. Okay. So I divide my presentation in three parts. First part, how to write a scientific article. Then how to publish our paper in a scientific journal. That is the first part. Second part, how to write a winning proposal to funding agency. Then third part, how journals are evaluated, how researchers have been evaluated by the scientific community. So with this introduction, I move on to first part of my presentation, that is peer review process and journals. So what is mean by peer review? It is a friendly review. It is designed to assess the validity, quality, often the originality of the articles for publication. Main purpose of peer review is to maintain the scientific integrity, to filter the poor quality, invalid data that is surfaced into the journals. Okay. From the publisher's point of view, peer review is like a filter that will filter only good quality article, so that they want to create a journal name or brand name. Okay. When you look at the peer review history, in the year 1665, Royal Society of London, they have launched a journal that is philosophical transaction. In that time, there was no peer review. Whatever editor decides, that can be published in that journal. In the year 1669, the expert committee appointed by the French king, they have gone through the material, scientific material. Then finally, they will apprise the scientific fact to the king. In the year 1731, Royal Society of Edinburgh, they appoint a group of members to see the material submitted to the Royal Society of Edinburgh. Okay. So these things in the year 1831 leads to launch of new journal, that is by Royal Society of London. The journal is Proceedings of the Royal Society. Okay. So they have a team to maintain the scientific integrity in the journal. In the year 1833, then single blind peer review system has been established. In the year 1894, then everyone feels that there must be a committee to scrutinize the scientific integrity of the material. The mid-90s, then double blind peer review system came into practice. Okay. Apart from this, in the year 2007, so we have a single blind peer review system, then double blind peer review system. In 2007, Frontiers group of journal, they have launched interactive review. So they have a chance, authors have given a chance to interact with the reviewer. So here, the reviewers are not known to authors at the end of the publications. So the reviewers, after the reviewer's name is revealed to the authors. Okay. So till date, efforts have continued to reduce the bias, increase the transparency, and speed up the peer review process. Okay. So how to write a manuscript, how to prepare a manuscript? First, we have to conceive a novel idea or conceptualize your novel idea, then form a strong hypothesis. Then hypothesis must be supported by the well-designed experiment. Then you have to collect reproducible data. Then those data can be written in a manuscript. Then it can be sent to the journal. This is the general outline of the how to prepare a manuscript. Okay. So while preparing the manuscript, always you have to keep in mind what is the novelty, what is the message you are going to give. Then all the content you have to put in a text in the appropriate way. Then should not make longer manuscript or should not make too shorter manuscript. So we have to restrict the length. Always you have to invest the time while writing the manuscript. So in my experience, so what I learned from 10 years of writing the papers. So first we have to contains all the data. You have to make all the data in a table form. Then you have to do statistical analysis. Then afterwards make a table. Then afterwards, then you have to write a methodology, not a introduction, not a title. First you have to write a methodology. Then always you have to quote the methodology or methods from international citation, scientific citation index journal or impact factor journal. After writing the methodology, then you end up the methodology. Then you have to tell. So what kind of statistical analysis you have used? So what is the program of STAT, SPSS, or you are using the SAS program that you have to mention. Then you have to write the results. Then results, we have to. So mostly what we do, we write the results in a text way, as well as in the table, as well as in the figure. So it is called as a redundancy. So always, so we have to produce a result in one form, either text, table, or in a figure. So in case of tables, then we have to highlight the only significant results compared to control. Then what is the significant of your treatment? So like that, we have to highlight the most important results. Those results should differ in the discussion section with already reported findings. Okay. Then you have to stop this. Then we have to write the introduction section. Introduction is, that is the short review of your area of literature. Then introduction section, we have to address the novelty. What is the novelty in this project? So what is the gap in this research? Then how your research is going to fill the gap? So that is called as a hypothesis. After forming a hypothesis, then you have to make an objective. Then afterwards, you have to write a conclusion section. Finally, you have to write a conclusion section. Then you have to give a title. Title should reflect the entire content of your manuscript. That must be simple. Then easily understandable by the readers. Okay. Then after making the manuscript, then you have to circulate your paper, your manuscript to your colleagues. So you can get the comment. Then based on the comment, you can improve your manuscript. Then you have to write an abstract. So abstract can be written before submission of your manuscript 2 to 3 days before. You can write an abstract. So abstract must be very concise. So that should have a aim, that should have an objective. So that should have a methodology. Then most important results. Then followed by abstract. You have to write the keywords. Okay. So in this way, you can write the manuscript. Okay, you have to invest a lot of time to read the manuscript, read the papers. Then you have to invest a lot of time to write the manuscript. Okay. So then only you will make a quality manuscript. Okay. Then after making the manuscript, then we have to choose the journal. So this topic is relevant to each journal. Each and every journal, they have their own aims and objective. They have their own set of their readers. Then so based on that, we can make you can choose the journals. Okay. Then topic is timely, it is appropriate, it is significant, it is studies unique. So based on that, you can make you can submit your paper to your journal. Okay. Then nowadays we have a journal finders. We have a Elsevier publisher, we have a Springer, we have a William Blackwell. Each and every journal, each and every publishers, they are having huge journals in their list. Then you can make a journal finder. You can paste your abstract. So based on the abstract, then that will satisfy the journal. So then based on your strength of your study, you can choose the journal. Okay. Then after submitting the journal, then there are the journal that paper must undergo peer review system. So there are 3 kinds of peer review system. That is single blind peer review system. So here, author names are known to reviewer, whereas reviewer names are not known to the author. So it is the most traditional method of reviewing and most common type so far. Okay. So because reviewer anonymity, so then reviewer, they can make impartial decisions. Okay. So what is the drawback of single blind peer review system? Whenever a paper, whenever a manuscript goes to the author, goes to the reviewer who is working the same area, so purposefully he may delay the manuscript decision intentionally. So reviewer can publish his paper first, then only he will allow your paper to publish second. Okay. So because of reviewer anonymity, then sometimes reviewer may use unnecessarily critical comment or harsh words about the author's work. So it is the drawback of single blind peer review system. So double blind peer review system is here both the reviewer and the authors are anonymous. So in this way, we can prevent the reviewing bias. Sometimes peer review system, the authors may feel that based on religion, based on region, based on country, so our work is being denied. So this kind of controversies can be avoided when we go for double blind peer review systems. Okay. Sometimes articles written by the prestigious institute, from a prestigious institute or renowned authors must be considered based on the content in the paper and their reputations. Okay. So what is the flaws in double blind peer review system? Reviewer can often identify author based on the writing style, subject matter, and self-citation. Okay. So faith and review system is open review. Here, authors and reviewers are known to each other. So some of the scientists, they believe that it is the best way to prevent the malicious comment, stop plagiarism. So encourage the open and honest review. But most of the scientists, they are not supporting the open review system. They feel that it is a less honest process. So here, because of the authors and reviewers known to each other, they are in a position to give a polite comment. So because of retribution or rebuttal from the author. So because of this, so most of the time, reviewer, they withhold or tone down the criticism. Okay. So in case of peer review system, what reviewer looks for in that our manuscript, that it is original, it's important to the reader of their journal, then scientific reliability and integrity of that manuscript. Okay. Then apart from this, reviewer look for the whether research has been structured correctly, they have been performed in exact way. So we have used the correct strategic analysis, then our interpretations are accurate, whether we have present data clearly. So these are the things we look by the reviewer in the manuscript. Then apart from this, the reviewer will look into the technical aspect like so the number of tables and figures. Number of tables and figures, it's accurate and clearly structured. Okay, this much tables are numbers essentially required for this manuscript. Okay, so in my experience, so what reviewer expect not more than 6 is a table or figure in a combination, not more than 6. 4 table, 2 figure, and then 2 table, 4 figures, not more than 6. Okay. So beyond that, if you want this data are important, you can put in a supplementary online version. So nowadays, journals, most of the journals, they are encouraging this kind of supplementary data. Then apart from this, we will look into this, our data are consistent with the body of the paper. Okay. Okay. Then the studies reported that 96.77% of the peer reviewing process help the authors to improve their manuscript by means of providing the constructive criticism and comments. Okay. So in addition to this, a peer review system will polish the data ready for publication in soonest possible time. So that means peer review is essential for publishing the manuscript. Okay. After making the paper, then we have to submit the journal. So after submission, what is happening to our manuscript? Okay. So first it will be assessed in case of Wiley and Blackwell. It is the peer review process in Wiley and Blackwell publishers. First our manuscript assessed by the editor. When it is a work for reviewing, so that will send to the reviewer. If it is not work, then author, the editor-in-chief itself, he rejected the manuscript. So once it's sent for review, then it goes to the reviewer, then reviewer send the recommendation. Based on recommendation, then editor-in-chief make addition, but the revision has to be given or paper has to be rejected. Once the revision has been given, then authors are requested to revise the manuscript accordingly. They have according to the reviewer comment. Once revision has been done, then again it has to follow the same step. The revised manuscript should be submitted to the journal. Again, it will be scrutinized by the editor-in-chief. Then it will go to the reviewer. Then based on the reviewer comment, it will be accepted. Once accepted, it will go for production. Finally, it gets published. Okay. In case of peer review system in elsewhere, similar to Wiley and Blackwell, there are some minor changes. Okay. Then once manuscript submitted to the journal, then it will basic criteria will be assessed by the editor-in-chief. Technical editors are there nowadays, so they will assess whether manuscripts are properly structured based on the format of the journal, whether references are quoted properly. So if it is there, then it will go to the editor-in-chief. Otherwise, technical editor itself, they will return the manuscript for editing. Okay. Once a manuscript is a proper form, the editor-in-chief or associate editor will handle the manuscript. Then he will choose the 2 peer reviewer. Then peer reviewer will make a comment. Apart from this, reviewer 3 and 4. So reviewer 3 is specifically appointed to comment the English and grammar language of the manuscript. Then reviewer 4 is, so it may be a statistical expert. He will comment on that part of the manuscript. Okay. So based on the reviewer comment, editor-in-chief will make a decision whether paper has to be given a revision or rejection. So once revision is initiated, revision has been given, then the author has to go for revising the manuscript according to the reviewer comment. Then he has to make a correction in the manuscript. Then in the covering letter, he has to give a rebuttal. That means, so query raised by the reviewer, then what action he has taken. That is called as a rebuttal letter. He has to give a rebuttal each and every query raised by the reviewer. Then he has to submit the final revision of the manuscript. So that must be will be handled by the editor-in-chief. That may initiate the second round of peer review system. Then based on the reference comment, editor may accept the manuscript. Once accepted, then editorial board meeting will be convened to decide the issue of the publication. Finally, it gets published. So this is the peer review process in elsewhere system. Okay. So whenever we have a manuscript, so this is the long way to go. We have to cross the many peoples with the pens. So that is called peer review system. So though it is it looks very strange, then in order of it, then we can easily solve the queries faced by the reviewers. We can reach the we can make our manuscript can be published. Okay. So in the peer review process, we may feel like this, but usually not like this. So if our work is very novel and interesting. Okay. So these are the some of our publications we made in the previous couple of previous years. Okay. Okay. Then. So this is the publications in the 2020. Then okay. So I have completed my first part of the presentation. Now we move on to how to write a winning research proposal. So I will outline my talk in this title. Okay. Why we have to do the research? So that is the big question. Why we have to do the research? It is a continuous process. So we have to do research continuously. Then we have to get research technology for well-being of the society, for well-being of the humankind. So for that purpose, research is a mandatory. So we have to do the research. Okay. Why universities should do the research? That is to maintain the quality of the teaching program, provide the basis for undergraduate and postgraduate thesis project. Then universities should not be more than degree delivering institution. Apart from this, they should contribute society that in the way by doing the good research. Okay. Universities should be the basket for new knowledge and developments. Okay. So whether universities have the financial capacity to support the research for each and every scientist? Definitely not. Okay. The university may have 1,000 or 500 employees, 500 teachers or scientists. So university may not have a fund to support each and every individual researcher. So it is the duty of the individual person. Then they have to they have to write a winning proposal. They have to attract the money from the funding agency. So in this way, university can can pay the returns to the society. Okay. Then why we have to write a research proposal? Okay, so it is to convince others the project we have designed. It is important, worth effort. Okay, convince others that you have the ability to carry out the independent research, design the experiment, and you have the ability to report the finding. That is in the form of publications. Okay. Then most of the time, why we write a research proposal means we are getting the pressure from a higher authority. So then only we can secure our position in our institute. So that is most of the time. So by this way, we can sustain the research in the other universities. Okay. So how to start writing the research proposal? First thing, we have to know your subject area. So always reviewer look for an updated knowledge in research area. So know your funder. So we have 36 funding agencies in India. So that one proposal cannot be issued to the other funding agency. Each and every funding agency, they have their one mandate. Okay. So accordingly, then we have to, according to funding agency, then we have to write a research proposal. Most of the time, funding agency cannot support same idea for twice. Okay. always we have to consult your colleagues. We have to make a proposal. The proposal must be circulated among the colleagues, then even grant officer at the funding body. So because of this discussion can ensure that proposal is targeted appropriately. Okay. What makes the good proposal? Well-prepared application always involves less time for the reviewer to review the entire proposal. Proposal must demonstrate high scientific quality. Okay. Then always we have to make a cost effectiveness budget. That means requested fund must be proportion to the proposed by project. Okay. So by simple work, we cannot claim a 50 lakhs or 25 lakhs. Okay. So accordingly, we have to demand the fund from funding agency. So how to write a proposal? Allow plenty of time to prepare your proposal. We have to conceptualize your ideas. Then we have to read many reference paper. Then we have to enrich your knowledge. Then afterwards, we have to make a one summary page. Then we have to put all your ideas in a holistic way in the paper. Then based on that content, then we have to develop your full proposal. Okay. Then your proposal should show the need. Then it should fill the gap in that area. Then present your proposal in terms of the aims and objective of the funding agency, not your own. Okay. For example, National Medicinal Plant Board, always their aim is to look for the secondary metabolites or microlides from the plant. So in that funding agency, you cannot make a physics proposal. So always you have to choose a proposal to the appropriate funding agency. Always you have to keep in mind. So this question: why fund to you? Why fund this proposal? Why now? So all this for this question, when you have an answer, you must have an answer in your proposal. Okay. So most of the time, scientists we don't have a limited. We have only limited opportunities to answer the queries raised from the other funding agency. Always consult the funding agency website. Then according to their call, you have to research your proposal. So sometimes you may have a chance to give a presentation. In that time, you have to make a good presentation, like use diagrams and tables to add a clarity of the proposal. Use bullet points. Then you should not use so many words. Then you have to restrict the font size. Then always your slide must be prepared without any spelling mistakes. Okay. Then after making the proposal, then you have to check the guidelines of the funding agency. So so failing to which, then the format of the funding agency, the proposal immediately will be returned. Okay. Okay. So normally, common proposals would have a title, abstract, background, aim and objective, methodology, work program, resources, outcome, then project management and reviewers. So these are the common structure of the proposal, scientific proposal. Okay. Then title, so very simple. So it is the first impression the reader will get. So but must be clear. So reviewers should be able to understand the title. Then what we are going to do research in that area. So always you have to put a catchy title with including acronym or question mark. Then that can be easily remembered by the reviewer. Okay. Abstract. So abstract should be concise and summary of the whole project. Then in that abstract, you have to state that. So need for this research. Then what you are intended to do. Then how you are going to achieve this. Then do not add unnecessary words or jargons. Each and every word in abstract is pieces. Then you have to present your clearly in abstract. Always you have to circulate your abstract to your colleague. So if the abstract is well written, they should be able to understand the essence of the project from the abstract alone. Okay. So how to structure your proposal? Then in that continuation so title will be fixed, then abstract, then background. In the background, so this section should be used to put the work into the context. So what has been done before, then how you will propose the work to it. What is the innovation? What is the novelty of the project? Then we have to demonstrate your capability, your familiarity in that area. Then aims and objective. Always you have to have a clear-cut aim. Then we have to make an objective in a bullet point. Then each and every objective should have a connection with correlation among them. Then to achieve the aim. Okay, aim and the objective should be realistic, consistent. Then that must be can be completed by the within a time frame. Okay, with suitable outcomes. Okay. In methodology. Always, most of the funding agencies, in case of DST, DBT, so they are not, they do not need a detailed, elaborate methodology, whereas National Medicinal Plan Board or Minister eyes, they need a detailed methodology. So we have to give a detailed methodology, then explain why you have chosen this particular methodology. Then we have to always use the as a published article as a reference. Suppose your own experience in methodology is limited, so then you have to initiate a collaborative work. Okay. Then work program, then you have to make a PERT chart, then aim, the objective, then work program, what are the work is planned in each objective, then how it can be realized. So that kind of thing can be given in a PERT chart. Okay. Then apart from this, sometimes we can make a Gantt chart. So Gantt chart is similar to PERT chart. Okay, that you can refer from any internet how to make a Gantt chart. Okay. Then resources. Then in each and every proposal, we have to include detailed budget. Then always we have to propose a budget very honestly, appropriate to the proposed volume of the work and the complexity of the work. Okay. So many times when here we have a direct cost, indirect cost. In case of European Union, USA, so direct cost means the cost of the salary of the teachers or scientists can be claimed from the project. So this is not the practice in India. Most of the projects they fund the research fellows, but salary of the staff cannot be claimed. Scientists cannot be claimed from the project. It is called as a indirect cost. So direct cost means then equipment, then recurring agency, chemical, glasswares, then overhead charges. It is also one of the indirect costs. Okay. So most of the time, in case of European Union, America, then suppose university they able to grow the salary for the staff mean, so it will increase the more chance for funding of that particular proposal. That means the budget can be reduced to half of the proposed budget. That is why funding agency they look for this kind of proposals from the university or scientific institutes. Okay. Then outputs, and how it can be disseminated. So this section should describe the contribution to the knowledge, then importance for future research, then benefits to the users, then broader relevance to the beneficiaries, then highlights how results will be disseminated by means of publication, conferences, and then commercial exploitations. So in this way, so this is the most important thing. So whether our project must end up with deliverables. So then only that will increase the chance for funding. Okay. Then project management. So this kind of thing not required for a small project, however for big project. Then we have to provide the time scale, milestone of achievement. So each 6 months, then what is the target? How it can be achieved? So if not achieved, so how sometimes conflict may arise. So sometimes we may face failures. How will we overcome the failures? So that kind of thing we have to do. So what is the tangible measures how to measure the progress of our objective? Okay. Then most of the funding agency they need a referees. So you have to choose the people who you know and your work. Don't use reviewers within your institution. Use international reviewers. So be aware that applicants won't referees. Many times they write unfavorable reports of our project. So always you have to keep in these things in your mind while proposing referees for evaluating your projects. Okay. Then review process by the funding agency. Normally, funding agency they will appoint 2 to 3 peer reviewers from the pool of experts. So reviewer make an independent assessment and scientific quality of the proposal. So whenever a proposal must be selected for funding, at least 2 reviewers among 3, at least 2 reviewers should give a positive comment. Then only about my proposal may be selected for funding. Okay. What reviewers look for looking for in the proposal? So high scientific quality, proposals to meet the funders' priority. It's a novelty, value for the money. So budget must be appropriate, then modest, then a clear and well thought out approach, and an interesting idea. So all these things reviewer will evaluate in a proposal. Okay. Then award committee, based on the review report, award committee, they will allocate the rank. Okay. In many times, sometimes the award committee may bypass the reviewer comment. Sometimes they can fund for some particular projects. Okay. Then once projects are get positive comments from the reviewer, that can be given in the three kinds. So fundable, then inlet resubmission, reject the proposal. So okay. So these are the quick tips for writing the good proposals. Okay. So finally, we have to write a good proposal with the high scientific integrity, with the novelty, with the modest budget. Then there is a chance for funding. Okay. So these are the funding agencies in India. So like UGC, ICTE, CSIR, DRDO, the DAE, the Department of Atomic Energy, DBT, then ICMR, IMD, then ISRO, Ministry of Food Processing Industry, Ministry of Environment Forest, then Indian Council of Agriculture Research, National Medicinal Plant Board, then Horticulture Board, Coffee Board, Coconut Board, Kaya Board, Ministry of Ayush. So these are the national funding agencies. At least 36 funding agencies in India, they can fund the research in India. So then these are some of the international funding agencies. They fund our Indian scientists. Okay. So now I have completed second part of my presentation. Now we move on to scientometrics. Scientometrics, it is a study of measuring and analyzing the science, technology, and innovation. So it is the quantification of research outputs. Okay. How research paper can be quantified? Based on citation, based on downloads, based on views, and based on sharings. Okay. Citation means, so end of the paper, a book chapter, end of the article, then there is a separate section that is called as a reference or bibliography. So in that, our published manuscript should be given. That is called as a citation. So normally we receive citation for well-written manuscript. Only in-depth article, they will get a large number of citation. Then suppose if we publish our paper in a good journal or known journal, we will have a chance for getting more citation of our paper. Okay. How journal can be evaluated? Based on impact factor, based on Scm-Sttp-Phase journal rank, based on immediacy index, and 5-year impact factor, and Hutch index. Okay. So why impact factor is important for the journals? In a market, there are thousand journals are launched or flooded. So librarian, it is not possible for librarian to select every journal. He has to make some asterisk to choose the journal for library. So for that purpose, librarian always choose the topmost journal, which is having the high quality, high impact factor, so that he can subscribe the journal for library. In case of publisher edited point of view, they want to launch their journal in the market. They want to establish market for their journal in the scientific community. Authors, so it is the intention of everyone wants to publish a paper in Nature, then Science. So everyone wants to publish a paper in a high impact factor journal. So we want to know which one is influence journal, so that can be judged based on the impact factor. Okay. Then why it is important for professor and student? Always they want to discover their peers working in that area or research field. Okay. So as I said earlier, journals can be evaluated by the JCR report. Then it is Web of Science, Hutch Index. Then Scopus wrote by the elsewhere. Then Scm-Sttp-Phase journal and country rank system. So other tools are least important. Okay. Then how to calculate the impact factor? So it is the frequency which an average article in a journal gets cited. Suppose if we want to calculate the impact factor for 2010, so it is the ratio between the article published in 2009 and 8. For example, 43 articles have been published in the 2009 and 10 in total. So those article has been cited by 66 times. Then it is impact factor is 1.535 times. So 5 impact factor that I will talk later of this presentation. Okay. Then, so what is the use and misuse of the impact factor? So always impact factor is, we consider it is a prestige for the journal. So journal which is having the high or good impact factor, always it is, we consider it is a good journal. Then, as I said earlier, librarians can choose the journals for library based on the impact factor. Academic evaluation. So most of the time, impact factors are being used for academic evaluation of researchers for tenure, grants, and funding. So however, this is incorrect because impact factor is only indicate the quality of the journal, not quality of the article published by the particular scientist. Though it is stating like this, but most of the funding agency, they select, they will consider impact factor for the extending the tenure, for giving the grants to the scientists. Okay. So what are the issues in impact factor? So journal that receive the peak level of citation in 2 preceding years, always that will have a higher impact factor. For example, so one journal that can publish 1,000 paper, that will have one citation of one paper. So 1,000 divided by 1,000, that impact factor is 1. Sometimes journal can publish 10 paper, it is cited by 1 time. So 10 by 10, it will have 1. So this kind of anomalies are there, while considering the impact factor. So many times when we use the impact factor, we have to keep in mind it is not absolute to evaluate the scientists based on impact factor alone. So impact factors vary according to discipline. The impact factor not relevant to certain field. Okay. So any journal that does not have impact factor, we cannot say that the journal is unworthy. But this is not the party. But most of the time we consider the journal as impact factor, we consider it is a good journal. Okay. So then next one is immediacy index. So that is, so it is similar to impact factor. Citation issued by the journal in the year of publication. So that is divided by the citable article published in the same year. Okay. Whenever article published in the start of the year, middle of the year, that can be, there is chance for citing that article in the same year. Okay. So nowadays, most of the funding agency, then academic institute, so instead of looking for current year impact factor, they are moving on to 5-year impact factor. So 5-year impact factor means, so that is the articles received citation preceding 5 years, they are divided by the article published in the preceding 5 years. Okay. So 5-year impact factor, which is having all the characters of impact factor except the increased number of years. Okay. So most of the time, because of citation, so every year impact factor fluctuation is noticed in impact factor. So because of this funding agency, we look for 5-year impact factor. It is almost stable. Okay. Compared to year impact factor, then 5-year impact factor is less for all the journals. Okay. So suppose if we want to calculate 5-year impact factor for 2010, so we have to look for the how many papers published last preceding 5 years, 94 papers. So 94 papers cited 396 times. So that is 4.2 is the impact factor. Okay. So now we move on to how to evaluate the researcher. So researcher previously what we did. So when we publish a paper in impact factor journal, then high impact factor journal, based on that, researcher can be evaluated. Nowadays, researchers are evaluated based on H index. Okay, H index means, so it is a Chris index. So it is calculated as the H number of article receiving the H or more citation. For example, one person having the citation H index of 17 that means that he has published 17 papers, and those papers are cited 17 times. Okay. Okay. There are some anomalies in H index. Sometimes then scientists they use the G index. So G index, it is a Google citation index, but most of the funding agencies they do not trust the G index. Always they trust the H index. Okay. So what is the features of G index? They ignore the year of publication, ignore intensity of publications. So here is a somewhat funny things. They arrange the citation in a decreasing order. For example, arrange the citation in a decreasing order. Then like descending order. Then we have to write the article. You have to put the serial number in ascending order. So likewise, where the numbers are equal, where serial number is not higher than the citation is the G index. So this kind of G index is developed by the Leo Egi in the year 2006. But this is not most widely used, adopted by the scientific society. Okay. So next one is ISI Web of Science. So here we can have a H index. So it is the most promising, most test website. You can have a H index. Okay. So it is owned by the Clarivate company. Then whenever you want to submit the fund to the funding agency, most of the funding agency they are requiring the H index. So they trust this H index printed from this website. Okay. So now we move on to RSID ID. So it is called as an open researcher and a contributor ID. So like a unique ID given to the scientist and researcher and contributor to the scientific community. So like a Aadhaar card, like a PAN card, it is the ID given to the scientist. For example, Murugayan Sendil Kumar, both are the initials M in the same department. So sometimes, so they can claim each of the publications they want. So in order to avoid this, so we can use this kind of ID. So this kind of ID is developed by the developed in 2012 in the October month. Okay. So this ID is linked with the articles. Whenever you look the article, you can see the DOI. So DOI is a digital object identifier. When you click this, so it is a unique ID given to the manuscript, that particular manuscript. You click that, directly will click that link, directly go to that article. So similarly, it is linked with the RSID ID. So in this way, we can trace the contribution of each and every scientist. Okay, mainly. So it is a company in UK which provides the product and services for the academic researcher. So mostly known for the reference manager. So like a EndNote. So normally this mainly use it for sharing research papers, generate the bibliographies for scholarly article. Mainly is developed by Gregor Mendel and chemist and two of the three of the PhD students in 2007 in the November in London. But later, this mainly software mainly has been purchased by the elsewhere publishers. Okay. Then Babylons. So Babylons is a commercial website. So whenever we think that we are when we submit a journal, then journal goes to the editor-in-chief. It's a honorary post. Sometimes he may receive a honorarium from the publishers. But what is the reward for the reviewer, peer reviewer? We review the manuscript, and because of the journal, we are spending our time, valuable time. We are making the taking time for making the comment. Then what is the benefit to the reviewer? Okay, so Babylon is a commercial website that provides the pre-service to the academic. Account to track and verify then showcase the peer review system editorial contribution to the academic journals. Okay, so it was launched in the 2012. Then later it was purchased by the Clarivate Analytics in 2017. So that institute owned the website, EndNote and Scholar thing. So now Babylons claimed that 2 lakh researchers they have joined the Babylons. They have the peer reviews for 25,000 journals. Okay, so whenever we make a peer review system, so we have to register in Babylons. So like registering email ID, we have to register the Babylons. So once we register, then we will have a separate user ID and password. Then once our peer review is completed, you can register your peer review thing into Bublones. So Bublones, it will generate your peer review report. So that can be printed, then that can be included in the funding CV, and funding agency, and job applications. Okay. So so with this, I move to conclusion section. Okay. So always we have to do good research. Then good research can be written in a good way, that can be prepared in a good manuscript. We have to publish our manuscript in a well-reputed journal. Then in an impact factor journal. Always you should have a aim that you should publish a paper in an impact factor journal. Then most of the time, what we thought, so we have a national journal, international journal. There is no such a journals are there, national international journal. So only citation index journal, SCA journal and non-SCA journal. Okay. So these are the things are there. Then we have to publish a paper in a reputed journal with a high impact factor. Then based on that, we will develop expertise. So also that your paper get cited by others, then only your H index will increase. Then based on the H index, then if you write a proposal for the funding agency, there is a much chance for your proposal being funded by the funding agency. By using the fund, again you do the good research. So in this way, it is a chain process. It will continue this. Okay. Within this, I conclude my talk.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for the wonderful session. You gave a lot of idea about the peer review process and funding proposal preparation, article preparation. And usually we start with writing abstract for the article. You are explaining a different way of writing a paper. Start with methodology first, as a analysis first, then methodology. Only in the last moment we have to write the abstract. That's very interesting. And we started receiving a couple of questions from the participants. I can ask you one by one, sir. And first one, is there any easy way to increase citations?
Citation, that is, so you can circulate your paper to your peers and colleagues. Then you can make your own web page. Then you can paste your paper. Then you can use social media like Twitter and Facebook. Then you can share that. In this way, you can increase the citation. So, 2 or 3 years before, so it is offense by the journals. Nowadays, journals are encouraging. They are giving the link. They are asking us to share our paper in a Twitter or Facebook. So, in this way, even it is not open access, journals are encouraging your paper to be circulated among your peers.
Can we share the papers published in paid journals also?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can share. Yes, you can share.
In ResearchGate, some of the authors posting their papers. I was wondering whether they can post or not. That's legally permissible.
Yeah, previously there was a restriction from the journals. Nowadays, journals, they want to exist in the competitive market. They want to increase their impact factor. So that is why they are encouraging the scientists to post their paper in RG, ResearchGate.
Yes, sir. Another question, sir. There are some special issues issued by a leading journals. Is it having the same value of the journal?
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Journal. So, what is the value given to that regular issue of the journal? Same value is given for that special issues.
Okay, sir. And some of the journals mailing us to act as a reviewer for their paper. In that case, how to respond to it and how to review a paper?
So it is a service to the scientific community. Whenever we write the paper, we submit a journal that has been reviewed by some other person. He is investing a lot of time to review the paper. So it is when you are in a scientific community, so you must devote your time for service to society. So you have to accept the peer review system. So once you give acceptance, then you will receive the entire manuscript. You will receive a user ID and password. So then you can download that manuscript from the journal. Then they will guide you. So first you have to read the manuscript. You should take a time. At least you have to read two to three times. Then you will make a comment. So what is the title is good. whether abstract is sufficiently given, whether language is good, whether they used appropriate statistical tools, the reduction section is properly formulated, whether they address the gap, whether they formulate hypothesis exactly, whether methodology is right, accurate, up to date. Then they have so number of tables and figures are essentially required or not. Then if not so, then what is your idea to cut short that tables and figures, whether results are properly interpreted, properly presented, then whether the results are properly defined by the reviewer, whether they made a proper conclusion, whether reference they have cited the reference in appropriate way, recent references are included in that paper. So all these things we have to look into that while reviewing the manuscript. So these are the things, when you review one or two papers, then you become an expert. So based on each journal, they have a different style, but most of the journals, they will ask this kind of format to review us.
Do the reviewer gets any kind of honorarium, sir?
No, sir, no, sir. It is a honorary, it is service to the society. First time, this is a service to the scientific community. Most of the time, most of the journal, they don't pay anything to the reviewer. But these days, publishers, what they did mean, so we can freely download their papers for 1 month. They will give a free access to the reviewer. So whatever the papers we want, we can download from the journal. So this kind of small things they are giving, they are offering. But rarely some of the journal of biological chemistry, they are giving the money $200 to the peer reviewer. But most of the journals, they don't pay for reviewers. They offer this kind of thing to the reviewers.
Some of the researchers keep on publishing their papers in the same journal.
Okay, sir. So, in my opinion, sir, that is wrong.
Or bad?
In my opinion, it is wrong, sir. It is wrong. Whenever we are doing the good research, we have to challenge our data in multiple journals with multiple peer reviewers and multiple scientists. Okay, we're unknown scientists. So then only we can get polished. We can refine our research. So most of the time, when we publish the same journal, we know the tune. We can identify the tune of that journal. So accordingly, we can tune our research. So then we are not aggressive in presenting the results. So this kind of thing must be avoided. So, but these days, journal even they are not encouraging. They evaluate the paper based on the particular content of the paper. So not based on the previous history of the authors.
Another one, sir.
Okay, sir.
Can we do self-citation?
So you can do, sir, but limited extent, sir. Limited extent. So really, it is needed when you work is a continuation of previous work. Then you can go for self-citation. So there is some certain limits are there. Sometimes most of the reviewers, they don't like self-citations. Okay.
What is the first stage in getting funding from the agencies?
Funding from?
Funding agencies. How to start with?
First, we have to look for the advertisements. Advertisement. They will advertise. They will make a call. So they will make a specific call. So bioremediation, they will make because of COVID. So each and every funding agency, they need a medicine for the COVID. So like that, they will advertise. First, look for the call. So based on the call, then you are expertise. Then you have to write a proposal to the funding agency to meet out the aims and objectives of the funding agency with your expertise.
So suppose the scheme date, the last date of sending application is closed. Still we can have a chance to get into it.
So when it is an online submission, means that is closed, this is closed, sir. When you cannot do anything. So sometimes funding agency, they will admit the postal delay.
Impact factor we can easily check, sir. How to know our number of downloads of our paper? Is there any?
Sir, so that cannot be done, sir. That cannot be done. So whenever finite times are crossed, then from the journal itself we can get we'll get information from the journal. Your paper reach the 500 downloads. So normally this kind of thing is doing well by the Frontiers group of journals. Frontiers.
Another interesting question.
Yes, sir.
Can we cite a paper without reading the original paper?
So that is obviously wrong,
From
sir.
yes, sir. From any journal we are reading, they mention some citation from some other author. Can we take that from it?
That is originally wrong, but most of the time it is not possible to read the original manuscript every time. So we many time original manuscript not easily accessible by all the authors. In that case, we can use it, sir.
Another one, where to see the 5-year impact factor, sir? Is it we have to calculate, or we can get it from?
So when you open the journal homepage, they will count impact factor. Then below that, you will see the 5-year impact factor. Then website itself, it is displayed, sir.
Another interesting question. Impact factor value is low in Scopus or Thomson-Reuters journals, but for open access normal journals, they have more impact factor.
That is because of open access. So open access means many researchers they easily, so everyone can access that content. So then that can be easily accessed by everyone. So because of that, there can be transfer cited by the more times rather than the journals published in that kind of journals. Article published in that kind of journals. So that is why it is quite natural when we publish a material open access journal. So that we will have a more number of citations.
Just regarding the funding, after receiving funds from the agency, if we are moving to some other institution, how to handle the fund?
So that time we have two options, sir. That your funding your institute should agree first. So if this is the if your institute is not raising any issues, then you can write the funding agency. You can transfer the fund to that the new institute. Otherwise, we have to surrender the. Otherwise, we have to leave the fund to the particular institute, parent institute, and co-PA, co-principal investigator, can take the lead of the project. He has to complete the project. So when we submit the proposal to funding agency, we submit a declaration certificate. In the certificate, it is clearly mentioned, in case of absence of principal investigator, co-PA, and an institute will take a necessary action to complete the scheme. So like that kind of, this kind of declaration we are giving in as a statement to the funding agency. We have to adhere on that.
Another question, sir. Nowadays, the funding agency started demanding interest for unspent amount.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Suppose if we spend the amount well in advance, can we claim interest from the funding agency?
No, sir, it is not possible. So they are giving the fund to carry out the research. When you keep the fund more than 1 year, so interest is accumulated. That interest, what happens, that interest is utilized by they are assuring 10 lakhs. Then we have spent 5 lakhs. Then interest for 5 lakhs is accumulated. So our money is only 5 lakhs. The remaining money must goes to the funding agency. Otherwise, funding agency, what they do, based on the interest accumulated, they will reduce the second year grant release accordingly.
Sir, about the question, sir. Thank you for the interesting presentation, and you gave a lot of data about how to publish easily, and we have an energy to go for funding now.
So
Whenever we are seeing a presentation like this, we immediately get the energy to go for it, but later after 1 or 2 weeks, we will slowly forget it. We have to overcome that. And I request all the participants to keep the points discussed in today's sessions with you and try to go for better funding and better research opportunities. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us. Thank you all the participants for attending today's program. Thank you.
I thank organizers for giving me the opportunity. I thank Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Sabir Rajan,